Trouble in paradise, it would seem. All of the news about Pelosi and the far-left Democrats fighting is bad news for the Democrats, and it seems now that Nancy Pelosi has scolded the far-left Democrats by saying, do not tweet. This story from Politico: Pelosi scolds progressives in closed-door meeting. The House Speaker urged liberal Democrats not to criticize their centrist colleagues in public. I want to pause real quick, Politico, please. AOC and Anna Presley and Elon Omar are not liberal Democrats. They're far-left progressives, okay? They advocate for no border enforcement. Ocasio, look, they're effectively arguing for open borders. Whether or not they're saying open borders or not, they're saying get rid of CBP, ICE, and DHS and stop detaining illegal immigrants and decriminalize illegal immigration. That's open borders, for the most part, okay? Now, Pelosi is center-left. That's fine. But to call the far left like liberal Democrats, please do not. But let's read the news and see exactly what's going on with the Democrats and their internal struggle. Before we do, head over to timcast.com/donate. If you'd like to support my work, there's a monthly PayPal option, a crypto option, and a physical address. But of course, just share this video if you like my content, because YouTube doesn't for the most part. So I rely on you to suggest my content to people. If you don't like it, by all means, don't share it. I don't know why you're watching, but hey, thanks for being here. Politico writes, Speaker Nancy Pelosi chided progressives in a closed-door meeting Wednesday, calling on them to address their intra-party grievances privately, rather than blasting their centrist colleagues on Twitter. Pelosi's comments, which were described as stern, came during the first full caucus meeting since a major blowup over emergency border funding last month between progressive and moderate lawmakers, as well as a recent spat with Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her freshman allies. So again, you got a complaint? You come and talk to me about it, Pelosi told Democrats, according to a source in the room. But do not tweet about our members and expect us to think that it's just okay. Woo! Getting spicy. Democrats inside the room said they interpreted that remark as a shot at Rep. Mark Pocan, co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, who called moderate Democrats members of the Child Abuse Caucus. Whoa! In a tweet over their support for the Senate's version of the emergency humanitarian package. It's insane to me the progressives are blaming the moderate Democrats for actually trying to get money to alleviate the suffering of these children. It's backwards world. It is bizarro universe where the progressives think it's not their fault. That blows my mind. So they say, a Pelosi spokesman said the speaker's comments were about the use of Twitter in general and not targeted at any individual member. I'm here to help the children when it's easy and when it's hard. Some of you are here to make a beautiful pate, but we're making sausage most of the time, Pelosi told the caucus. The speaker gave an emphatic defense of the moderates in the caucus, according to multiple sources, telling the room that they're critical to holding the House majority. Pelosi told Democrats not to make the Blue Dog Coalition their targets and instead criticize her publicly if they need to go after someone. The California Democrat added that when her members target her, it helps fundraising, eliciting a big laugh inside the room. We are a family, and every family has its moments, Pelosi said. Her remarks also come after Pelosi dismissed Ocasio-Cortez and the other members of the progressive squad in an interview with the New York Times over the weekend. I will say this. If I was in the Democratic Congress and the speaker came to me and said, don't do X, I'd be like, allow me to show you in no uncertain terms how I respond to an order of such magnitude. Pull out my phone, get on Twitter, and start tweeting what she was saying. I don't take kindly to arbitrary authority. I don't care for your tribe, and this is why I would probably never be in any of these situations. I don't care for being a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. None of that means anything to me. In fact, you can take your group and you can... I won't go any further with where that remark goes. I have no interest whatsoever in being affiliated with anyone. So I can absolutely respect the far-left Democrats in the sense that they're going to tell Nancy Pelosi where to take her tweets. At the same time, however, I recognize that there are common sense solutions to problems, and whether or not you care about Democrat or Republican, sometimes it makes sense to agree with each other if you want to actually solve the problem. Taking personal issue with what someone says to you doesn't actually do anything. And I think we actually are facing a crisis if we have politicians who are more concerned with the emotional bickering than actually solving the problem. They're more concerned with tribalism than actually solving the problem. I'll say this. I don't care for your tribes. I care for solving the problem. If the Republican's going to offer up a solution, I say I welcome it. If the Democrat offers a solution, I welcome that as well. Plain and simple. But let's see what happened with Pelosi. They write, Pelosi questioned the actual influence the group has, given that they were the only 4 Democrats who opposed the House's original humanitarian package. Ocasio-Cortez and the other progressives, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, quickly fired back, criticizing Pelosi's remarks in a series of tweets. Pelosi also indirectly criticized Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff, according to Democrats in the room, as she told members to tell their staffers to think twice before they tweet. Saikat Chakrabarty, Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff, went after Pelosi in a series of tweets over the weekend, criticizing everything from her comments on the squad to her stance against the impeachment. Let me ask you a question. Why is it that when I'm critical of the far left Democrats, I'm called right-wing or conservative? But when they're critical of the Democrats, they're not. Isn't it really interesting that I can be rather centrist, leaning left on many issues? I can explicitly say, Tulsi Gabbard gets my support for this reason, and here's why I'm pro-choice, why I'm pro-public health care, why I think government programs actually make a difference. Yet they'll still say I'm right-wing. Why? Because I'm critical of the far left. How often have I been critical of Nancy Pelosi? Fairly, not too often, not too often. I've been critical of the Democrats mostly because they called they called the border crisis manufactured and refused to fund it. And then I praised them when they got on board to solve the problem. I go on to criticize the far left, but apparently in today's media landscape, Nancy Pelosi really is far right. She really is right wing. They just won't really say it because they know it's bad for the Overton window. These left-wing activists in media know that the average person is going to say, what? Nancy Pelosi is not right wing. So even though I'm to the left of Nancy Pelosi on most issues, for simply criticizing the far left insanity, they would call me right wing. Well, I ask you then, if Nancy Pelosi is actually to the right of me, how am I right wing? If Nancy Pelosi is a Democrat. That's what's mind-blowing. And it shows you how insane everything has gotten in public discourse. Ocasio-Cortez, I think, is nuts. I think she is a terrible, terrible representative of advocate for environmentalism, and she's ruining all of these left-wing positions I actually like. I think we got to get rid of private prisons. I think we need strong environmental policy. And then you prop up someone as ridiculous as her, and moderates walk away. Plain and simple. Let's read on. Chakrabarty also tweeted scathing criticisms of the Blue Dogs, calling them the new Southern Democrats. Oh, my stars and garters. Right-wing Chakrabarty, I must say, for criticizing the Democrats. They certainly seem hell-bent to do black and brown people today what the old Southern Democrats did in the 40s. Are you nuts? Give me a break. Ocasio-Cortez didn't address Pelosi's speech as she left the caucus meeting, instead talking about the annual defense authorization bill that will be on the House floor this week. But Omar defended her allies, saying she and other Democrats can vote however they want. I hope that leadership understands their role and understands what our role is. Well, look, the authorization for military force, is that what they're talking? I don't know what they're talking about specifically, but I am all about not authorizing that, and the National Defense Authorization Act pulling back on a lot of that too. But tell me, where are the Democrats? Are the far left Democrats rallying against foreign war? For the most part, no. They're pushing identitarian policy and horrifying domestic policy. Tulsi Gabbard's got it right on foreign policy, and I disagree with the domestic policy. But you know what? Hey, as long as she's got the foreign policy right, I'm willing to accept that she's got bad domestic policy ideas if it means ending foreign war, reallocating funds back to the U.S., securing our borders, etc. I think there's a lot to disagree with Tulsi Gabbard on, but at the end of the day, I think most of us realize that you're not going to agree with everything a politician says. I disagree with 99% of what most politicians say. In the end, for me, death is the core issue. Everything else, you know what, man, there's so much to talk about and there's so much to go through. I just don't know. But if you tell me you want to end the death penalty and you want to stop foreign missile strikes on foreign countries and war, all right, I'm game. That's the only thing I can really be like, I feel that deep within me, it must be stopped. And so that's why I support a lot of this. So I'd like to see any of the Democrats step up, any of them. Now, what do we have? We have Trump pulling back a strike on Iran, saying you don't want to kill people. I'm like, that's actually a really good thing. And the actions he took in North Korea, even if just symbolic, are huge. And I can respect that. So what is the left doing? I just don't understand. They call Tulsi Gabbard conservative. She's technically kind of far left. They call her conservative because she's anti-war. I don't even know what's going on here. I don't even know where I am. What is this? Why are they tweeting? Why are they fighting? And what are they getting done? I don't know what these people are even trying to accomplish anymore other than obstructing and just saying Orange Man bad. I got another segment coming up for you in a few minutes, so thanks for hanging out in one of these Tim rants about the whole screwed up political system. I will see you in a few minutes on the last story.